everyone, I'm Cassandra.
And I'm Mom.
And this is Millennial Mom. In today's video, we are finally here for the Married at First Sight Season 10, Episode 16, Decision Day. Until Decision Day, do we part? And we get to see which couples are finally going to part. So, let's get into the video. So we're actually going to just jump right into Decision Day because the couples weren't really talking about anything before going to
Not
see
really,
the
right.
experts. Our first couple that we get to see is Yesker and Austin.
Yep.
And I'm not going to lie, the person who I was most happy about seeing is Dr. Pepper because she's been MIA.
You've been asking where
season.
she was.
She's been gone. Even on this episode, she weren't really saying much.
Maybe her nerves got bad.
I'm like, is this her last season or something?
You never know.
But anyway, so we see them. And, Jessica's still talking about how, she loves Austin and how she wants to continue doing this. But one of the hardest parts is him traveling.
Yeah.
And Austin, he was recognizing that. But he finally said that he loves her. He actually said that he actually felt love for her this whole time. He just hadn't said anything.
Yeah, because he didn't want his heart broken. But Pastor Cal said, too, just because you didn't say it, if you're doing things that's out of love, then the love is there. And he also wanted Jessica to recognize that, too.
He was talking to Jessica with that one.
Yeah, he was.
I actually feel like he was waiting till Decision Day to say it.
I don't. I think if they didn't necessarily ask or press the issue, he keeps saying, I want to make sure, I want to take time. I think it would have extended beyond Decision Day. But he did, again, say he's feeling things and doing things out of love. He just hasn't actually said love. Even
though we saw Austin in the last episode, he looked like he was tired of Jessica. Which
he's still tired.
I still feel like he is too. But I feel like everyone knew that they were gonna make it all the way and say yes. So this wasn't really a surprise, but the experts were happy. They were even shedding some tears, and I feel like they were shedding some tears because they knew this was the only couple who had the best chance of making it.
I think they were happy and more excited because they are the most genuine couple. They really didn't have to cancel this season. So
our next couple that we see is Brandon and Taylor.
Yeah.
Well, it was more so Taylor than Brandon because it seemed like Taylor was in there for a good 15, 30, 45 minutes.
For a while, yeah.
Before he even decided to show up. But while they were waiting, they were asking Taylor some questions like, well, how did it all go? What do you feel about it? And she was basically like, she tried her hardest.
She did.
She was really trying to make us feel like she was really sincere. She felt like her and Brandon could have made it if somebody tried or they actually tried.
Yeah.
And one of the questions that stuck out to me was when Dr. Viviana asked Taylor was like, well, do you think Brandon put production and the camera crew and all basically the framework of the show before your relationship? And she felt like that was true. And I can kind of agree because you go on the show, you know what it's about. The key word there is show. But later on, when Brandon finally walks in,
well, he's all nice, everyone. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you.
Smiling, just all sarcastic, condescending. I didn't like his vibes.
Well, Brandon always gives off a vibe. I didn't pick up condescending at first, only after they started talking.
I did, because he always comes in with theatrics and the extras. Anyways, he sits down, and they were like, well, Brandon, did you think about not showing up?
Yeah.
And Brandon was like, he did think about not showing up because he felt like the production staff disrespected him, and he weren't going to show up until he got an apology.
Right.
And that's why he's there, because he got an apology. I'm like, they probably just gave you an apology just to give you an apology.
Yeah.
They didn't mean it. That man at that minivan meant what he said.
That's flip.
Yes. He was like,
he's like, either unroll the window or lock the door, you're going to get another ride. But when Brandon said, yeah, he got the apology and did that little smile, Dr. Vivian was like, towards the camera, he's like, so why are you smiling? Like, pretty much, is this a joke to you? He's like, well, no. I just feel like I was owed an apology. I told production I had to be at work, and it's not the first time that they did this to me. And they're just saying, so pretty much we're supposed to like revolve our production around you. He's like, no, I said that I had to go to work. It's the second time.
No,
and
Pastor Cal called him a lie.
he did. And you know what? Brenda said, I got to go to the bathroom.
He said, no, he said, hold that thought to Dr. Viviana.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I have to go to the bathroom. And then to me, this is when Pastor Cal started to look less pastory, a little bit more Cal.
I like that. Less pastory, more Cal.
Because he was taking off his glasses. You know how he does when he
Yeah.
gets mad, rubbing his forehead. And he was basically like, you know, Brandon, we've all been here waiting for you to show up. We've been sitting here for hours. We
Right.
had to go to the bathroom too. Like, we're here trying to respect your time. But basically, because, you know, he said he's been late to work the past 2 times. He even said during mediation. And did he point at Dr. Pepper when he said that?
I don't know who was pointing at, but as far as I'm concerned, Brandon was talking to everybody.
He went to the bathroom like he said he was going to do.
Well, all blase, because he walked around. There's people sitting around.
To the other production staff. Like,
Yeah.
what are y'all doing?
Right. And I'm like, Brandon, you don't even have to do all that. He did that just to show that he could, like, stop production again. That's what it was. He probably didn't have to use the bathroom. When he came back out, he was so nonchalant. They just kind of looked at him like, so, you know, what are we going to do about this marriage?
What I really, once again, like from Dr. Viviana, what she pointed out was like, this is for your future.
Right.
This is you.
Now we get to the decision. And Taylor says, well, you know, I've been thinking about it. And she even brings up before that, too, like how they've been hanging out off camera and they just been connecting and vibing, how she hoped it would work and everything. But she decides to get a divorce. I was shocked at that. I thought Taylor would have wanted to continue on just because she feels that they've been vibing and I just think it'd be better. You know, all those things she was saying at the retreat last week. But that clearly took Brandon by surprise because guess what he did? He got back up and left. He was like, I don't have to deal with this. I'm like, see, that's showing your character, Brandon. People try to vouch for you or try to think like, okay, well, maybe he's not as bad. Maybe he has other issues. Maybe he doesn't like to be on camera. But it's just the way that he reacts when things don't go his way. So needless to say, Brandon didn't give an answer, but him walking away was his answer.
Do you think he wanted to say no first?
I think if Taylor had said, we can try outside of production, he would have gave it a shot. Just by the way he got up and left.
I don't think so. I think Brandon was going to say no because I felt like he just wanted to continue to run the show like he came in there doing. At the end, when he was talking to the cameras, he said, well, I guess it's it. I guess we're getting divorced and Left don't live here anymore. And I thought that was so funny.
From Brandon. Okay, Brandon. Now we have Meka and Michael. And they're both sitting on the couch as if they're social distancing from each other. They're not talking to one another. They didn't even say hi to each other. Were you surprised at that?
No, because it's Meka and Michael. I was surprised. I was going to say I was surprised that Michael arrived first, but I'm not really surprised that Michael arrived first because, you know, Michael just does that. He always looks sharp. He's always very presentable, and he always shows up to bring the best of himself.
Of course, they're asked how are things going, and Meka starts first. She says, well, you know, I felt like we connected with our last dinner, and I got to feel like I knew who Michael was from then because he opened up some. And Michael's like, you know what, I agree. I was like, you agree? How come? He's like, yeah, we did. He said the same thing, too, that he'd become more vulnerable, and he opened up, too, and he's starting to realize some of the mistakes he did as a couple, and pretty much saying he hopes it's not too late. Pastor Cal says, well, you do realize there's a trust issue in this relationship. So how would you go about fixing this if you did continue on? He said, well, you know, when I was younger, you know, I did things to, I don't know, how would you say, to make it seem like it was in the best interest of just me.
The individual. And now that he's in a relationship, he realized that he has to do what's best for the relationship.
Right. And he also said he realizes it might be too little too late. And I'm like, that's true. Because unfortunately, because even I said in the last episode, it looked like they connected. But how you can connect at the 7th week, 6th day and expect to move forward?
It takes time.
Meka says, well, you know, I can't really trust you. I don't know too much about you. You haven't really opened up to me. I don't even believe what you're saying now is honest. I was like, wow, now too, Meka? Her answer was no.
But before she even got to that answer, you can see on Michael's face that for me it looked like he was saying she better not say no.
But
This
he
better
always
not
looks a
lead
little
to a no.
he looks a little irritated all the time when she's talking anyways. And especially when they're talking and in front of professionals, because he looks like he's in think mode, trying to think about the next thing to say. Yeah. So he's listening to, is he listening to receive or is he listening to respond? Michael's decision after Meka said that was, wow, I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought maybe we could work it out and move forward. He said, this is disappointing. I was shocked.
You were?
I was shocked. I thought that he would have checked out long ago.
I feel like he was going to say yes just based off how they last ended from what we saw. Because they did finally have a connection and he finally told the truth about his job situation. So he probably felt like him finally opening up a little bit more to Meka would make her more receptive to continue the relationship.
Next, we have Katie and Derek. Derek is there. Katie arrives after. And Derek gets up and greets Katie with a nice warm hug. And he's like, hey, how you doing? She's like, oh, I'm fine. You know, kind of like, don't hug me. Yeah. Katie, she really gets on my nerves. Derek goes on to say that, you know, they have good times, they have bad times. Derek feels there's more good than bad. He does say that their relationship is built off of more arguments than not. But Derek has been saying that for a couple weeks now.
But he feels like the arguments lead them to knowing more about each other.
And Katie's like, well, I'm torn. I don't know. I don't feel any connection. I feel it's more of a friendship. I just feel like, I mean, every little word was like, well, and this, that. I'm like, Katie, are you already saying no? So the professionals are saying, so what is it that you bring out in each other? And Derek's like, well, you know, I believe in marriage. I've heard my parents argue all the time, but they got through it. I want to be in a marriage that's long and lasting. I want to love. I know I could learn to love Katie or grow into love for Katie. And Katie's like, well, you know, I don't know about that because I just don't feel it. My heart doesn't feel that for you. And I'm like, Katie, just say no right now. let's just get this over with. Just say no right now. It was hard for me to watch. What do you think about Katie?
Well, I never liked Katie from day one.
Right.
Since we already found out that she was still talking to her ex, that she wanted love from him, and then he finally told him love him, so she was conflicted. But on this scene for Decision Day, I definitely felt like she was leading up to saying no. So when the experts finally asked them for their decision, and she said yes, I had to look up from my phone. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes? Did you say yes?
Like, I didn't think I heard that right.
Yeah, because she had said through the whole episode there was no passion. He was more of a friend. Her heart wasn't feeling it. But, you know, we're not the type to give up, and I want to try.
Also, I'm telling Dr. Viviana, she was the moderator.
Yeah, she was.
Of this episode. Because she was like, well, you know, I'm hearing all of these things, but one of the things that has me rooting for you guys is the fact that you said that everything is based off of friendship. You guys have a good friendship.
Right.
So a lot of our couples who have a good friendship tend to last longer within the thing.
Right.
So I was like, that's true. But every time each expert talked to her, she's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it went in one ear and out the other.
That's what it looked like to me. So when she finally said yes, I was shocked.
But you know what? Derek said yes too. But
well, we already knew Derek.
I know, yes. But it's just like the Brandon Taylor thing. If Derek had said no, Katie would have said no. I think
you think Katie would have got up too?
Yes, I do. I think Katie was feeding off of Derek, and because as much as her heart was torn, and they're just friends, and she don't feel the passion and the this and the that and this and that, why would you? What would make you stay? So I do believe that if he said no, she would have said no too and stormed off because that's Katie's attitude. But Pastor Cal said, along with Dr. Viviana, about the friendship thing, he said, you guys are one of the youngest couples and you have time to grow and build that foundation. I thought that was nice that he gave them that kind of suggestion. Our final couple, Mindy and Zach. Who thought Mindy and Zach was going to stay together per the tease from last week? Anybody? No?
I will say about Mindy,
Uh-huh.
she did walk in there looking good. Her little bodycon dress, hair pulled back, some done with herself and her makeup. I was like, yes, Mindy.
She did look nice. So Mindy and Zach have already decided to file for divorce, and they haven't seen each other until the decision day. And then Pastor Cal said a little something shady. He's like, well, they're there to make progress to see what's left on the table. He said, but Zach really needs to make amends. I was like, ooh.
I was like, is he there just to appease the contract? I thought that's what you were going to say.
And so they, of course, ask how they're doing. Mindy's like, I'm doing fine. Zach is like, I'm doing fine too. Mindy says that, this wasn't quite the experience that she hoped, but she knows that she can go forward and find love and get along. And she hopes that Zach will be a better partner to someone else, because she knows whoever her partner is, they're getting a catch pretty much, because she's learned a lot from this experience.
I'm glad she recognized.
And then so Zach, Pastor Cal actually asked Zach, so are you really in this to be on TV? Or were you in it for the Married at First Sight experience? Zach said he was in it for the experience.
I mean, what answer did he actually think he was going to get?
Exactly. But what he went on to say was...
In circles?
Well, before he went in circles, he said he apologized for his behavior to Mindy, which I thought was a good thing. He said he knew he wasn't there. He knew how he wasn't fully committed, and that the walls he had up, I'm like, see there? He's thinking back to the conversation he had with his sister. How the walls he had up, he wasn't really letting anyone in. But he was honest and say this part, that, if he knows if he's not emotionally and attracted to somebody, he's not going to give his all. And I agree with that. If you don't have that connection, there is no really giving it your all, really. But he didn't even give it a chance to grow.
Right.
But Zach did go on to say, after he was asked about his learning experience, Zach said he's going to be a better person for all those women out there. And then he caught himself. I was like...
For all those women, or for Lindsay?
For all those women out there. He goes, oh, and then for people, and for me too. I'm like, you meant what you said. All those women. So, did you really come on here for Married at First Sight? Or you came out here for TV, Zach? Which one? So, after Zach said that, got his foot caught in his mouth, he just started talking in circles. He started repeating himself again, and everyone is just looking at him, including Mindy, just like, here he goes again. But at the very end, they both decided they would be much better people, and they were happy for this particular experience that they had on Married at First Sight. But I really hope that Mindy will find happiness, because she really wants to be married and with someone at this point in her life.
I believe that she will. If anything, I think this is going to be more of a hindrance for Zach, because while he was trying to redeem himself, trying to make it seem like he was a good guy, because he admitted to his faults and apologized.
Yeah.
No, because I still didn't get the sincerity from it.
Yeah, I didn't either. After the decision day, we see the couples meet up at a bar. Jessica and Austin, Katie, Derek, Mindy and Zach, and then Taylor and Meka come in together. And so the other couples notice that they come in together, like, oh, you guys come in together or with your couples?
The shade. They knew.
It was a little shade. But Derek said, he wasn't surprised, but he hoped that all the couples could stay together. And I was like, you know what? Derek is a hopeless romantic.
Derek in his dreams.
There you go, Katie. Mindy asked Jessica, so how's it going with Austin? Seemed like you guys are in love. And Jessica's like, yeah, we're doing really good, but nobody's perfect. The same thing Jessica says. She talks about, of course, the traveling thing and how she's trying to get used to that. And they were trying to tell her it'll be okay. And Austin's like, yeah, well, I just started. So some months I'll be traveling more just due to whatever's going on with his job and things like that. And
oh, yeah. Also, the experts did touch on that part too about the traveling, saying that they're all married and they all travel. So if
that's
don't
right.
work out, just throw that in there.
Thank you. And so while they were talking about that, Katie gives her 2 cents. It's like, well, you can always, when you video chat, you can video chat sex.
Is that what's all on her mind?
That's all in her mind. I mean, she did get upset when Derek wouldn't have sex with her while she was on her period. So, and Austin said they will video chat. They'll have dinner together and things like that. That's what I was trying to express earlier. Like, that's not really a big deal. The only thing is just the time together. But there's still other ways to communicate. So, they should be able to work it out. Derek and Katie give an update that they have signed a new lease together. I was surprised at that.
I mean, they had to. They were going to live apart if they decided to be a married couple.
Well, no, I didn't think they were going to live apart, but if you remember a few episodes back, Katie was like she still has her condo or townhome that she paid for. She didn't want to give it up. So I thought maybe they could probably like live there.
Oh.
Instead of signing a new lease.
So that was pretty much what happened on this week's episode.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't as dramatic as they were trying to make it seem like this episode was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
The only couple I was surprised about, and I'm pretty sure 75% of the people are going to be surprised about, is Katie and Derek.
Yeah.
Because who knew that Katie was going to say yes?
Especially how she started off, right?
Mm-hmm. So for next week's episode... I am very excited about the reunion. I'm hoping that we see a cameo from Lindsay. I just need it. I want her to pop out. And then I want to know, Katie had an affair?
Well, that's what they said.
With who? It wasn't somebody on the cast? I wonder, what do you think?
Her affair?
In general.
Oh, well, I think her affair was from that ex-boyfriend, perhaps. I was surprised about Michael's reaction. About how disappointed he was that Meka said no. I was truly surprised. I think that may have taken him off guard. But I also think that he felt that because they had a nice dinner, that something may have clicked for them both and it didn't.
Well, thank you guys for watching our video. Make sure you tell us in the comments down below who do you think was going to stay and not stay, and what do you think is going to happen next week. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And share. And as always, live simply, be grateful.